You can converge a toaster and a refrigerator, but those things are probably not going to be pleasing to the user.
Around 10 years ago, Tim had that quote regarding the release of Windows laptops with touchscreens. It was pretty revealing of Apple's stance on devices that would bridge gaps. But the iPad was still in its infancy at the time and already dominating the market. Now, based on the direction that the iPad has gone, along with tablet computing in general, I'd say that Tim Cook was wrong. Apple's even marketed the iPad as being able to replace your computer. Your Windows computer, please don't stop buying MacBooks. Samsung, the other largest tablet manufacturer with the majority of the Android market, has gone in the exact same direction. And of course, I would never forget Microsoft, the pioneer of the two-in-one. But if the Surface was a toaster refrigerator, the Pixel tablet is a microwave refrigerator. It goes in a completely different direction with extending the capabilities of tablets. Not towards replacing computers, but replacing smart displays. You know, smart displays, those things that have become ubiquitous to every single person's everyday lives. And I can tell you, after reviewing the Pixel tablets, I really just want my toaster refrigerator back. This is InnoIso, and this is the Pixel tablet review. Now, I generally love the design of the Pixel tablet. Yes, it feels like the Pixel 5 with its metal frame and polymer plastic coating. I find that weird since Pixel 6 forward have carried such a drastically different design language. But more so than any iPad or Galaxy Tab that I've used in recent years, it feels like this is a tablet made to be held. Both iPads and Galaxies have these rough square edges that make it look more modern and possibly a little bit easier to connect a keyboard case onto, but the Pixel tablet has this very gentle curve to the frame. It feels functional. Adding to that are two little rubber bumpers on the bottom of the device, which take away from the horizontal symmetry. I evaluated those bumpers for some time, and I think it's purely meant to, when you're disconnecting the tablet from the dock, to prevent the tablet from scraping against whatever surface you're pulling it off of. But it amazes me just how little this tablet seems to have sacrificed otherwise in order to have the capability of connecting to the dock. Except for one key thing. Fans of the channel know that I love Surface devices because of their built-in kickstands. It's incredibly convenient to just be able to prop your tablet up anywhere without having to prop it up against something. Google couldn't have easily included a Surface-style kickstand and still have the tablet magnetically attached to the dock. So instead, they built this. At $70, this is the most that I've ever paid for a case just for a kickstand, and nothing else. But the design is at least quite premium. The case really feels like an extension to the Pixel tablet's design, with a soft touch, rubberized feel, and a premium metal loop for the kickstand itself. That loop is incredibly sturdy and keeps the Pixel tablet in just about any configuration that I want it. And it's convenient that it still works perfectly with the dock. But I would still prefer to have the kickstand built in rather than having to have a case for it. Now, having gotten used to the Galaxy Tab Plus and Ultra models, I was pretty surprised at how small this Pixel tablet is. It's got a similar footprint to the 11-inch iPad or iPad Pro, but it's wider and it's shorter. The iPad has a more square shape, which makes it a better solution for landscape viewing. The Pixel tablet, on the other hand, feels like a big phone with a 16 by 10 aspect ratio. The screen is 2560 by 1600. It's crisp and it's bright, but it's not an OLED. The nerds in the audience, respect, will point out to the fact that the 11-inch iPad also doesn't have an OLED. But there's one thing that's distinctly different between this tablet and your Galaxy Tab. You place it 2 feet from your face when you're sleeping. For the non-nerds in the audience, respect, one of the biggest differences between LCDs and OLEDs is that LCDs still have a backlight that's still turned on when most of the screen is black. For an OLED, if a pixel is black, that means it's turned off completely. So if you're particularly light sensitive, the Pixel tablet won't act as the best bedside alarm clock since it will always give off this faint glow. Now, it should be noted that Samsung, up until this year, only included OLEDs on their larger tablets, and Apple the same thing with micro LEDs, which is probably because OLEDs are substantially more expensive. The Pixel tablet is comparatively quite cheap. Now, I was particularly interested in how the software would work on the Pixel tablet. This is the first time that we've seen the Pixel experience on a big screen since the Pixel C 8 years ago. Now, I never got to use the Pixel C, but I can tell you with some certainty that the Pixel experience has evolved quite a bit since then. The Pixel team clearly tried to make the software experience on this tablet optimized for the larger screen. It doesn't really feel like a pure clone of the Pixel 7 Pro software. One thing that's notably missing, though, is Face Unlock, which would seem to be a clear, better solution to logging in over this admittedly inconsistent fingerprint sensor on the lock button. My guess is that the camera quality on the Pixel tablet, the front-facing camera, is not as good as that on the Pixel 7 or Pixel 7 Pro, which is why they didn't enable Face Unlock, but it seems like the right call. But we really need to talk about this. This makes me sad and angry. I know this has been talked to death by a lot of people, and it's not a good user experience. It looks terrible. Yes, it's technically a problem with the developer and not with the Pixel tablet itself, but this only stokes the fires of all the people who say that Android tablets just aren't good. And the solution is pretty simple in my mind. Do what Microsoft did with the Surface Duo. If an application is going to open up that cannot take up the full screen, use the rest of the screen to continue browsing on the home screen like you were. Microsoft locked in this experience, and now I think Google should apply it to stock the Android experience for tablets. But in this experience, multitasking is pushed towards the user, and relatively simple, if not a little bit faster than the Galaxy Tab solution. Like the Galaxy Tab, Google has added a taskbar of sorts that pops up from the bottom of the device, and apps that you are multitasking in are stored as app pairs that can be quickly accessed again. Now, I'll admit that Android has, for the most part, figured out multitasking, but multitasking, in my mind, is great for work. While it's cool to be able to watch a YouTube video and browse Twitter, I mean X, at the same time, it's generally not a frequent occurrence for me. My most common reasons for wanting multiple applications on screen at the same time are to be able to have notes while I'm writing a script, or have a spreadsheet up when I'm editing a presentation, or have an IDE open when I'm building an application on the other side. All of that experience is better with keyboard, at least on every other mainstream tablet. Being that silly person I am, I decided to connect the Pixel tablet to a third-party Logitech Bluetooth keyboard, and it did not go well. The connection was pretty quick, and after changing a setting to hide the on-screen keyboard, I was off to the races. Then I tried to hit Alt-Tab to switch to my last application, and it all came crashing down. I think there are rumors of Google releasing a dedicated keyboard case for the Pixel tablet, like the Magic Keyboard or the Surface Type cover, but they need to definitely drastically shift their software before they do so. This tablet is not made to be controlled with the keyboard. This is something that Samsung with DeX has managed very, very well, and even Apple has sort of figured out, so now it's Google's turn. If only they had experience in making a desktop operating system. Of course, tablet mode is only half the experience here. The other half is when the tablet is docked, there we go, as a smart display. Now, if you've never used a smart display before, let me summarize the experience. Google Assistant is always listening. There's an ability to play music on the fly on either built-in speakers or wireless speakers throughout your house. Weather and calendar information are readily available on the lock screen. Also, a digital frame will cycle through all your latest Google Photos. Home controls will manage lights, security cameras, and other smart home stuff. And the Pixel tablet does all of this fine. I imagine when all the bugs are ironed out, it will work just as well as my Lenovo Hub, which I purchased 5 years ago. That's unfortunately not the case right now. It does feel at times like the Pixel tablet is having an identity crisis. The lock screen will appear to show you notifications, but it's also meant for your slideshow and your weather information. If you stream a YouTube video from your phone to the tablet using Google Cast, it will not play on the YouTube app. It will instead play in Google Cast. And then if you want to pick up your tablet and keep on watching, you'll have to then reopen the YouTube app to browse. And while it would be nice to be able to have the dock as like a little kickstand to prop the tablet up to watch content on, there's not really any natural places in my house or where I can think of where that wouldn't be kind of obnoxious. Like I can't like put it in the middle of a table. It just, I don't know. The dock itself is nothing but a speaker and a charger for the tablet. It has no smarts built in itself. Initially I didn't think this would matter, but then I remembered the point of a tablet: portability. At any time I wanted to use the tablet elsewhere, I was effectively removing the Google Home from my bedroom. That means if my fiance was listening to music on the tablet in the bedroom, I couldn't just grab it and walk away with it. That's if I want to get married. And in the absolute worst case scenario, if I brought my tablet elsewhere and didn't return it to the dock, then I wouldn't have an alarm clock. What if you were going on a trip and you wanted to bring your Pixel tablet along? That means your family will go without a Google Home Hub when you're gone, unless it is purely your personal Google Home tablet. What's nice about this tablet relative to, say, the iPad is there's multi-user support, meaning that your Pixel tablet can be more than just your Pixel tablet. It can be your friends or families or daughters or sons or grandfather's Pixel tablet too, and they get their own experience. It's this wondrous feature that I think was added to Windows like 25 years ago, but for some reason has still not made its way to iPads. The Pixel tablet comes with the Tensor T2 chip and 8 gigs of RAM or something. And I wouldn't really know. It's incredibly speedy and responsive, and it feels great to use, but a lot of that feels more like software optimization of the experience rather than any sort of raw power. It doesn't get hot in normal use, although I can't really say I've pushed it to its limits. And the battery life, as far as I could tell, is fine. Google made this with the anticipation that you would be returning it to its dock every night, but the tablet itself alone still has a decent amount of battery life. Just a small note, this is the first time that I've noticed Google not actively charging a device to 100% in order to protect the lifetime of the battery, which I think makes sense, and I think I could turn it off if I want to, but it was just kind of a cool feature that just popped up. In conclusion, we see a drastic difference between Google's and Apple's philosophy. Apple builds devices to unseat competitors. Google builds devices to unseat itself. If you ignore the price, the Pixel tablet with better software should completely replace the entire smart display market. I can't see any reason for wanting a Nest Hub or an Echo display that doesn't detach from its base. But it's not like smart displays are this instrumental part of my life that I really wanted to be revolutionized. A good smart display is reliable, aesthetic, it's helpful, it's pretty. It fits into my space, it doesn't talk back to me, it doesn't forget about my lights, and it plays music when I need it to. A good tablet is portable, entertaining, and productive. It slides into any bag, it's got the battery life to watch several movies on a cross-country flight, and it helps me finish work without having to break out a full-on laptop. Those are completely different use cases. Maybe they overlap in places, but when announcing the Pixel tablet, Google made this long speech of how tablets are all gathering dust in drawers all over.
And they haven't really changed in the past 10 years. A lot of times they're sitting forgotten in the drawer, and that one moment you need it, it is out of battery.
Those comments rub me the wrong way, because they seem to come from this privileged place of being able to afford $500 tablets and then just letting them gather dust. And Google didn't really seem to provide a real answer to that problem. They said, hey, instead of letting your $500 tablet gather dust in the drawer, why not let it gather dust in the countertop with a use case that's been solved by sub $100 devices. The Nest Hub right now is at Best Buy for around $100. Sure, you cannot detach it from its dock, but for that $100, you can cover the entire additional proposed use case of the Pixel tablets without having to buy it. But what Google seemed to have missed or avoided is there are millions of people right now who are making real use of their tablets well into their lifespan, and they're doing so with keyboards and trackpads. Laptops are dying right now because people have realized that they can do generally the same things with more convenient portable devices like phones and tablets. Now I know, many of you will recognize that I'm ignoring the elephant in the room that I made a video about only months ago. This isn't Google's first rodeo. It attempted it first with the Pixel C, and then the Pixel Slate, and in a lesser amount with the Pixel Book. Google has tried several times to make a productivity-focused tablet. I understand that. But the Pixel C was announced at a time where Android wasn't even good on phones, much less tablets, and the Pixel Slate and Pixel Book were released when Chrome OS had not really completed the Android app transition, and the Pixel Slate had terrible performance. Right now, Chrome OS is actually a great experience on tablets, and it's getting to be a great experience on laptops too. I still contend that it is the best operating system out there to bridge the laptop to tablet gap, but it is an afterthought for Google. Google is so busy making an operating system in Chrome OS for millions of students, it doesn't care about the thousands of people who want a truly advanced, versatile operating system that's built for a device with multiple form factors. That could be Chrome OS, but it won't be Android until Google replicates DeX. If AR doesn't catch on fast enough, then that's the future. A truly versatile operating system that works across many form factors. But is it going to be Android? If you need a tablet that doesn't do all of the laptop stuff, then this is a great one for it. Plus, you get the extra bonus of having a wireless charging and little portable Nest Hub clone in the box. Maybe that was intentional for Google, but it feels like a miss for me. Thank you for watching InnoIso. I hope you like this coverage of the Pixel tablet. No! Okay, it's okay. This thing can take a couple hits. Thank you for watching InnoIso. I hope you like this review of the Pixel tablet. This device holds a special place in my heart, and I think Google could do very, very much with it, and I'm hoping eventually they will get to that point, but this is a little bit of a letdown relative to what my expectations or hopes were. Maybe that's a lesson about expectations. Thanks for watching. I hope you like this video. I put a lot of work into it. If you did, be sure to let me know down in the comments. Keep me updated with what you think about the Pixel tablets, and get subscribed because we got more videos coming out soon. Thanks. See ya.